This is Tuesday, April 30th, Noon Nuggets. And we're going to talk today about John 1, verses 1 through 18. So this talks about before creation. It says the Word was with God and the Word was God. So this is before creation, and it is about the relationship, that's showing the relationship between God the Father and God the Son, that's always been, they always have been, God always will be, yesterday, today, tomorrow. He is always the same, and I am so thankful for that. So then it talks about all things were made by Him. It's about creation. So all things were made by Him. Nothing was made without Him. So there's not one single solitary thing on this earth that was made outside of Him. He created every single piece. So the beauty that surrounds you in nature that you love, He created every bit of that. Each and every one of us, He created special with a purpose and an intent. We weren't created without Him. We were not created and then Him say, so now I don't know what to do with you. He had a purpose, an intent, and created you for that. So we seek Him to stay in line with that purpose, that intent, and stay where He wants us to be. We seek Him and we follow that. That's how we grow. That's how He can use us. That is what we are to be doing. And so He was light and life to man. So knowing that, and that He gives us this light and this life, and it's beautiful. And John the Baptist was sent as a messenger, and he was sent to share about the light and the truth of the light that was Jesus, and tell others. That's what he was sent for. That's what we all need to be about. What we all need to be doing is telling about the light of Jesus, showing it through ourselves, and that we have that in us, and let others see and know, and let others see that through the darkness. You see this dark world, we have that light in us that can show others the way out of that darkness, just like we found our way because somebody showed us. And His Word is full of light and life, full of strength for us. That's why that daily reading, that daily in the Word, and keeping it in our hearts, that keeps that light burning, that keeps that light going. And that's what we're to be about. And that we can draw strength from that and keep that light shining through the darkness, so that those in need that haven't found that light yet, haven't seen it, can see us, because the darkness can't hide our light. It's not going to overcome the light that He gives. And so John the Baptist was sent to bear witness to that. Well, Jesus came, and He was not half man, half God, that He was one person He was fully divine, and He was fully human. He was deity poured into humanity. That is just amazing to me, that in itself, just the thought, the idea of how He felt in so many different levels, and that He came here so that He could be deity in humanity and experience what we experience. He didn't stay in heaven and just say, oh, okay. He knows how we feel, because He experienced heartache and betrayal and these things that we see so many times in His Word, that when those things were going on, what was happening? What did He do? He prayed. He went to the Father. He loved anyway. And that's our example. And before he did the miracles he performed showed his glory. But he was constantly in prayer and relationship to the Father. That deity piece remained connected to the Father. And that that flesh piece could then flow with that because there was such a connection, a relationship there. And that's how we are in his image. Because we can have that connection and relationship to the Father that helps us to know peace and love and strength and the way that we live that can honor him. This is part of being in his image, is those characteristics come through us. His light comes in us and shines through, and those characteristics develop as we continually stay connected and close to him. And then when we do receive him and believe, that's when he can fill us with his light. You see, the law was given to Moses, but the law couldn't change people's hearts, can't transform them, can't change their hearts or their lives. It just points out God's characteristics, his righteousness, but it doesn't help them to be able to make that stride. It was the grace and truth that came with Jesus. It's that grace that replaced law that helps us, because his grace, his righteousness then covers us if we receive and believe. His blood was shed for us on that cross. And that's where his glory shone. That and his resurrection. We saw his glory. Everything they saw was just him. And his glory shone. And the picture that tries to come to my mind, wow. It really just takes my breath away to try to meditate on a picture like that. Try to dwell on a picture of that. And all that he did for us, that was all for us. That is for us to be able to have a spiritual birth and be a new creature in him, because his grace and mercy and love transform us. And then we are a new creature in him when we receive that and submit to him. We're a new creature. And so we live differently. We shine that light. And that is when our purpose of serving him and what he wants for us and how he wants us to live, what he designed us for, truly can shine through when we are that new creature in him. And he is faithful to provide and guide us if we are faithful to seek and follow and stay on the path he has for us. It's so very important that we stay in prayer and his word and nurture that relationship with him so that we get to know him and let him guide us and lead us. Think about it. If earthly parents had their babies and then never really had relationship with them, never really bonded with them, it's not a life of joy and not a home of peace and those things that we strive for, because that relationship's not there. It's the same thing. We have to keep that relationship a priority so that we know the Father, so that we can stay close to him and have him in our hearts, which brings him to our homes and our family life and work life and ripples all throughout. It's that light that shines. The closer we are to him, the brighter and more widespread it can be. And that is when he can use us and we can bring him honor and glory and delight. And we receive so much blessings from him for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful